Hey, what's up, guys? So I recently moved from Chicago to Thailand, and I brought my 55-pound dog with me. When I was researching the process on how to do it, all the information on the internet was so bad, so I decided that I need to make a video on how I got it done. I've been getting questions about, is my dog from Thailand, from the streets, or is she from America? How did I get her here? I'm going to go over all of that in this video. So with that being said, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on exactly how I got it done. I'm going to leave links for all of the forms that you need to fill out and the things that I purchased to get this done in the description of this video. So everything should be easy to find. You should have all the resources you need. Fair warning, I only know about going from the US to Thailand. I'm pretty sure a lot of this may be similar from country to country, but I have only done it myself from the US to Thailand. A little background, I had been living in Thailand for almost 2 years, and my dog was in America with my friend the entire time. So I went back to America with the express purposes of getting my dog and selling my properties there, and now we are at my home in Thailand. There's a few deadlines involved in this, and they can get kind of confusing, but I'm going to try to simplify them as much as I can so that you guys don't get lost. Fair warning, if you have time, like 2-3 months to plan this out, it's going to go so much smoother than if you have to rush through everything within like a month, as I did. I want to add that if you are not moving somewhere permanently, this is not something that you would want to do. This is something that is for situations where you have to get your dog or cat somewhere that you're going to be living permanently. This is not something I would just do for a vacation. With that being said, let's get started. The first thing that you need to do is purchase your crate. So this will be a little bit different if you have a small dog that's flying with you on the plane. My dog is a large dog, so she has to go in cargo because she's not a service dog. When you purchase your airline approved crate, there's a few requirements. There has to be wheels, even though they took the wheels off of mine at the airport when I got there. There has to be locking mechanisms, and it has to be nose proof. I'm not really sure which brands make all the crates. I can link the one that I bought on Amazon in the description. My dog is 55 pounds, and I bought the double XL crate, and I will show you the video of the dog in the crate now. So here's my double XL crate. My dog is about 55 pounds, and that's her bed's in there, and she seems like she's got plenty of space. I'm just putting her in here so she can like kind of get familiar with it. She's crate trained, but she's never in a crate ever. She doesn't even wear a collar. But yeah, this is my like airline certified crate. It's got these locking mechanisms on the side, these little hinges, and then 2 locking wheels in the front, and then the back wheels don't lock. And then since this crate with my luggage won't fit in any of the cars here, what we're gonna have to do is take it to the airport with the top off. Comes off pretty easy, but then once we get there, we're gonna put on these like finger screws. They have like a butterfly screw thing going on, and you can put them in these holes going all the way around the crate, and then of course the airline will probably zip tie these holes here. And yeah, it's got to be nose proof, because on a regular crate this dog will actually push this door open with her face and just leave. So this lock here stops that from happening. And then it's got to have the water and food bowls here. These just latch onto the grate here. Everything here can be put together by hand. You don't need like a screwdriver or anything, because they got the butterfly screws, and then you just throw these hinges on there with your hand. They clip in, and then these just clip on in the front. After you spend some time getting the dog used to being in the crate, if they're not crate trained already, the next thing you have to do is choose an airline. As of the time of me posting this video, There's 7 airlines I know that allow dogs in cargo. Those airlines are going to be Delta, United, American, Alaska, Qatar, Emirates, and Turkish. Turkish is the airline that I chose to fly with based on pricing and convenience. When I purchased my ticket from Turkish, my ticket was originally $370.80, and that is going from Chicago to Bangkok BKK Airport. After taxes and fees and everything, it was a little bit more. The most expensive part of the ticket was the dog. So there's like 3 sizing levels. There's a small dog, a medium dog, and then everything over like 30 pounds or so is just considered a big dog. So it doesn't matter if it was her size, if it was a Rottweiler, if it was something huge, they're all just big dogs at that point. Her seat on the flight was $1,100 even. I will put a full price breakdown of my ticket right here so you can see how much everything costs. Now, after you buy your ticket, the next thing you have to do is apply for an import permit from Thailand. The government needs to send you a document that says you have permission to import the dog. I'll leave a link to the application form in the description as well. That application is going to have a few requirements. It's going to need your address in Thailand. For me, I didn't have an address. I didn't know where I was going to be staying, so I went on Agoda and I booked a room that allowed dogs for about a week. And then I just used that address on the form. It's going to need pet details like breed, color, is it a dog, a cat? Your dog needs to have an ISO compliant microchip. I'm not sure what ISO stands for, but it has to comply with those standards. When I got my dog spayed, they also placed the microchip in for an extra $15, so I was lucky. I already had it done. So I used this form, which I keep on my phone, and I have a printed copy, and I added that to the document when I sent it back to the Thai government. They're going to need a copy of your passport, and they're going to need your flight itinerary. This is why you have to buy your flight ticket before you do this part of the process. They're going to need a pet passport photo, which is just like a 2x2 passport style photo of the animal up against like a white background. This is the one I use for my dog. It kind of looks like a little mugshot. They're also going to need all of your vaccination certifications attached to the email that you send back to the Thai government. The vaccinations that you need for your dog to fly are rabies, distemper, hepatitis, parvovirus, and lepto. What I would recommend doing, which is pretty convenient and inexpensive, if you have like a Petco near you, most of them do every other week a vaccination clinic. You just have to go online and book the appointment, which I will also leave a link to. And you can find one in your location that has the pop-up clinic. And some of them even have locations that are inside of the store at all times, so you can book appointments throughout the week. The prices can vary a little bit by location, but you can get everything done much cheaper than you can at like a regular vet. I'll leave a price breakdown for a random one in Chicago right here. As you can see, you can get everything that you need done for $149. Another quick tip, if you end up using something like Vetco to get the vaccinations, mine didn't scan her microchip when she got the vaccinations, so the number was basically missing from the paperwork. Make sure that they scan your pet's microchip and put the number in the paperwork. What I had to do was go to a random vet and have them scan her. It was free. It took like all of 2 minutes to do, but it was just an extra step in the process. And then I had to have the number added to my paperwork so I could send it back to the Thai government. After you send out the email to the Thai government to apply for this import permit, you should receive something like this, stamped by the government. That import permit is going to be valid for 60 days, another important number, from the date that you receive it. You have 60 days from the date of receiving that to leave the country with the dog. Otherwise, you will have to apply for another permit. On the website, it says give them 5 to 7 business days. With mine, they were pretty quick. I think it took 2 or 3 days to get it back. But just make sure you have all of the information included. If they're missing something, they'll email you back, and then you just attach it on there and send it back. The next thing you need to do before leaving at this point is apply for an official health certificate. This is a document from the USDA saying that the animal's healthy and the dog's able to fly. To get this document, you have to go to a USDA certified vet. I will leave a link in the description on the database so that you can find one near you. They're kind of everywhere. Also keep in mind, a lot of these vets are booked out like a month or two in advance. So if you can make your appointment, you have to make your appointment within 10 days of you flying. The official health certificate is only valid for 10 days from the date that you receive it. That's another important deadline that you have to keep track of. With that being said, I hadn't been in the US for 2 years, so I wasn't going to any of these vets, and I actually wasn't in Chicago, so I wasn't able to go to my personal vet, which was on the list. A lot of these vets said that they only do the certificate for patients, meaning they wanted me to go in for 3-4 appointments. I didn't have time to do that, so it wasn't an option. I ended up finding a clinic on the list that was a couple counties over, so we drove maybe like 40 minutes, and they were able to do it. The appointment at the clinic was $50, and then there's a government fee attached to that for $275 to have the USDA certified vet check everything out and certify your dog to fly. When I went there, they pretty much just made sure she's healthy. She is. And then they had to send it to another lab off-site because the USDA vet is not actually in that clinic. They're somewhere else. And then they faxed the paperwork back. It was all within a few days, and then I had my official health certificate, which looks something like this. It's got like both of the vet's signatures on there, and it pretty much just says my dog's okay to fly and she's healthy. After receiving this, you want to call and alert your airline just to make sure that everything goes smoothly, and there was no problems with me and Turkish Airlines there. So when I arrived for check-in at the airport, I was outside of the airport about to go to the counter, and they actually called me to see where I was because they were expecting the dog. Turkish made everything pretty convenient. They just made sure that everything went smoothly at the check-in. I did not have zip ties, so you should bring zip ties with you to the check-in. Luckily, the guys had some for me in the back, and they went and grabbed them, and they zip tied those little holes that I showed you in the crate video earlier. So here's the part that makes it so that I would not do this if I was like going on a vacation or something. It's very important to note that you will not see the dog until your final destination. Not only will you not see the dog until your final destination, they will not be giving the dog more food or water. At the airport, they recommended not feeding the dog for 12 hours before the flight. I did 8 because I didn't know that. Honestly, I would probably do 8 again because the dog was fine. There was no like vomit in the crate or anything like that. Really quick, my itinerary for the flight was boarding in Chicago and flying to Istanbul, which was an 11-hour flight. We had a 3-hour layover, and then there was another 9.5-hour flight to Bangkok. I did not see my dog the entire time until I picked her up at BKK Airport. Again, they do not give them more food or water during this entire time. It is very important that you bring water with you and you put water in the bowls before takeoff. Upon arrival at BKK Airport, everything is pretty much normal as far as immigration, and then once you're in, you go to pick up the dog at oversized luggage. That pretty much goes just like any normal luggage claim. It's where they have like surfboards and guitars and stuff like that. Once you have the dog back in your possession, you have to go to the AQS exam station. It's really close to the oversized baggage claim at BKK Airport. Once you're in there, they will just check the dog out, check the paperwork, and then you have to pay a 500 baht fee for the importation of the animal. Once you've done all of this, you are officially home free and you have your pet in Thailand. The total cost breakdown of everything for mine was $200 for the crate, $1,100 for the dog's ticket, $325 for the accredited USDA vet visit, about $150 for the vaccines, and then $15 for the import fee at the airport. In total, this costed me about $1,790 to do it myself, rather than using a pet shipper. I've heard some horror stories about pet shippers, people not getting their dogs in time and things like that, and I just didn't want to deal with it. Also, it seemed much more expensive. If you wanted to research pet shippers, you can do that yourself. What I would do differently is, one, I would give myself more time to plan it out. I was kind of in a crunch and I didn't know how the deadlines worked before starting this whole process. And the second thing I would do differently is buy 2 separate tickets. So earlier when I said you don't see your dog until the final destination of the flight, I would just purchase one flight to Istanbul and then purchase a second ticket from Istanbul to Bangkok, so that I got to pick my dog up during the layover and give her water. I would like it if I was able to see my dog during the layover and give her water and make sure she was okay and comfortable. Other than that, there was no real harm done to the dog, except for she doesn't really enjoy that crate anymore. And also, I will roll the video of how her nose looked, because she was obviously trying to get out of the nose-proof crate. But yeah, links for everything will be in the description of this video, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding any resources that you need. So good luck to everybody who wants to import a pet from another country into Thailand or some other country. Hopefully I made this easier for you, and if you guys could drop me a like, that would be very much appreciated. I'll see you guys later.